Up next, see and decide for yourself. Would you ingest this to lose weight?
It sort of comes out when it wants to. Those segments, by the way, turn into little caterpillar-like things, and they can crawl down your leg at any time.
And later, would you raise a monkey as your own child? Where does she sleep?
She sleeps with me and Daddy.
In the bed.
In the bed.
We're exposing a deadly diet trend that's all over the illegal black market right now. The tapeworm diet. We just watched cows being force-fed and deliberately injected with tapeworms and then being slaughtered in order to harvest eggs and then to sell those eggs to human beings who are willing to risk their lives to put these dangerous parasites in their bodies for weight loss. The Travel Channel's recent series, Bite Me with Dr. Mike, has a video of what happens when someone intentionally eats a tapeworm egg. Check this out.
This, in here on my piece of beef, is a beef tapeworm cyst. I really want to show you what this little creature can turn into. Oh dear, how am I going to do this? It's making me feel a bit sick. Oh man. Oh. I really don't like the idea of this at all.
He ate it. What was going on? Why did he eat it?
So what he was doing was eating a cyst, which is on the raw meat. You saw on the surface of that raw meat. And then that basically gets into your intestine and sets up shop and starts growing as a tapeworm and over a...
So he was using his body as his own scientific experiment to show what happens?
Yes, he was...
He's not trying to lose weight. He's just trying to show what's happening.
I think it was a demonstration.
A demonstration.
To show how it works.
Oh, God. Well, we have video of him getting rid of the tapeworm now. You watching, Yvette? Ophelia?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
The beauty of tapeworm trapping is that you don't need any expensive kit. If I place that sieve accurately in the toilet, there's no way the tapeworm's going to get through it. I hope that the worm will come out clean and in one piece, but it's far from easy. Just as I reach the 2-hour mark, it's time for my tapeworm to take a bow. There we go. And with a few knots and things, that has got to be over 1 metre long.
It's so funny. Everybody looks like they want to vomit right now. I'm looking at all you guys going like, oh my God. So, Dr. Smith, so that's what happens? They sit on the toilet and it just comes out like that?
That was disgusting. Yeah, that's what happened. Well,
you know it's disgusting if a doctor is saying it's disgusting, because you guys have seen everything.
There were a couple of ways you can get rid of it. So, I mean, the way you might consider getting rid of it, just let it live with you naturally, because it's natural. And then over 15 or 20 years, it might die and go away. But one piece at a time. It sort of comes out when it wants to in the segments. And those segments, by the way, turn into little caterpillar-like things, and they can crawl down your leg at any time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it actually gets from the feces of an animal onto the grass to be eaten again, and then we unknowingly would ingest the undercooked meat. So there's another way to get rid of it, though. Actually, you could use a medicine, and we've had medicines around to treat it, and you could just, if you decided, take a medicine.
Dogs.
Like a dog. Deworming medicine. So that's another option.
Cameron is here. She had a tapeworm and says it was quite interesting. Tell us about the tapeworm.
I found out I had a tapeworm a couple years ago, and it was not fun. It was very inconvenient in my life. You know, I started getting sick repeatedly, stomach viruses. I couldn't attend class. I couldn't go on with my daily routine. And when I was submitted to the hospital, that's when they told me I had a tapeworm. And it was not a fun experience at all.
Tell me what it did with your height.
It stunted my growth. I couldn't grow for years. I was not my normal weight for my age, and I wasn't getting any taller either.
Wow, so this is when you were still growing, when you were a teen. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Yvette, now I know at the commercial you were saying that you're not into this now.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just looking at what's next to my feet and just kind of creeping out a little bit.
So that could be in your tummy. You want to show us what we're looking at? Dr. Smith, can you show us? Can you pick that up?
Sure. Yeah. Well, let me put on some gloves. I don't want to get one myself.
Because there's something here that's... So that's what's freaking you out, seeing it. This is what's freaking her out, what's changing her mind.
And, with good reason, maybe she's cringing a little bit. Let me just put on some gloves. I brought you just to show you.
You're opening it!
Is that okay?
I didn't know. I didn't know that was a part of it. You can open it, no problem.
So, actually, it turns out this is a fish tapeworm. There are 3 different kinds you could get, and this is not uncommon in people. And I'm just gonna. I have gloves on. This is one of the longer ones and heavier ones, and it actually gets to be as long as 20 or 30 feet. This is Diphyllobothrum latum, which is a fish tapeworm. So if you
meaning it lives in fish, or it comes from a fish?
It lives in fish, and if you eat undercooked fish, you can get this.
From bad sushi?
From bad sushi, possibly. Undercooked salmon. And this one actually came from a dolphin, and we actually just put it in this jar. I'm not going to pull it all out. It turns out the head, which is the attachment part, you can see the head has these little spiky things on it. It's hooks. So those hooks, the way it works is they stick into the side of your intestine to hang on for dear life. And if the hooks don't work, guess what? It has suckers. So there's little hooker thingies, hookers and suckers. And they basically attach in the intestine, and that way it won't be by your normal intestinal action expelled. And so it will grow for years.
That one's 15 feet long.
You want to measure it?
Heck, I'm not going to measure it for real, for real.
Yeah, you can touch it. You can touch it.
I'll touch it, but I don't think I want it in me.
I'm going to do 15 feet. This one's, it's 15 feet long. Oh my God, you're touching it? Why are you touching it?
It looks like a needle.
Sushi, anyone? Anyone want some sushi?
Gross.
It's this long.
Can we stretch it out and measure it?
It's actually broken into little pieces, but it is 15 feet long.
And it travels to the brain, I hear. It can travel to the brain?
So, yes, certain ones of these should we put it away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't. So certain ones of these actually, they can travel to the brain. That's a side effect of certain tapeworms.
And what does it do when it hits the brain?
Well, it can cause all kinds of bad things. Seizures is a bad side effect, and of course you could lose function of part of your motor control.
That's a CAT scan of the brain, of it in the brain.
Literally, you could go crazy, act psychotic. It can do terrible things.
I think it's psychotic to put one of these in your body in the first place.
I agree. I think that's rational thinking.
We're going to meet the man who charges thousands of dollars for people who are desperate to buy tapeworms. He sells them. The man that you saw on the tape, he's here. We'll be right back.
Up next, we have this cultural prejudice that has been instilled in us that somehow intestinal worms are all bad.
Are you a doctor?
No, I'm an amateur in every sense of the word.
And later, the next Hollywood craze. Find out why stars like Paris Hilton are spending big money on little piggies.
They do a lot of things a dog can do, only a lot faster.
Truly a frightening diet trend. People are intentionally swallowing parasitic tapeworms in order to lose weight, and they're risking their lives in the process. Garen says he infected himself with tapeworms twice and successfully lost weight. Now he sells them to people on his own websites. Garen was the guy that we saw the tape earlier with the cow in Africa, and I apologize, Garen. I know you just tried to shake my hand right before this started. I'm just nervous. I'm not exactly sure if you can get it by hand touching and stuff, so I'm a little nervous. But so you sell them to people.
Yes.
You have a business where you sell these tapeworms to people.
We treat people with autoimmune conditions who have immune dysregulation. And there was a gathering, a very sensationalistic presentation on what parasites are all about. And we all have an ick response. That's appropriate and normal, and it protects us from, you know, involving ourselves in things that are disgusting, or in the case of worms, could require or get us a large infection. But parasites are part of our ecosystem. We are all walking ecosystems. And so we have this cultural prejudice that has been instilled in us that somehow intestinal worms are all bad. And nature just doesn't work like that. You can't just walk into an ecosystem.
We do know that all